Now, Carlos Mendoza, speaking at Citi Field, gave the update on Francisco Lindor. Let's listen to the Met manager.
Feeling better today, to a point where he's going to go outside, he's going to move around, do some running, he's going to play catch, and if he feels good, he's going to progress to baseball activities today. So that's a good sign.
So there's a chance just from that update that we might not see him this weekend. And as strange as it sounds, I don't think you rush him, because if the Mets really want to make a run in the playoffs, they're going to need Francisco Lindor. You could say Acuna's been playing great, and boy, he has. Francisco Lindor is a different player. Francisco Lindor is the most important player on the Mets. They're making it happen without him. But Don, Peter, I don't think you push him back, especially now that they're continuing to win games. The urgency is not there at this point.
Well, especially if he, suffers a setback, and now it might hurt, later on. The hope is he'd be back in time before the end of the regular season. So once I heard that earlier today, I'm like, well, forget this weekend. And maybe it'll be, for Atlanta on Tuesday. They got a day off on Monday. So I would think just be careful with it. Acuna's hitting .421. He's been terrific. So, ride that out. You're going to need Lindor back, but you don't want to take any chances on really wrecking his availability for the final 6 next week. And if you make it, his availability for the postseason as well. 2 games up with 9 to play. They got 3 games against Philadelphia. Listen, they won yesterday. Walker's a mess. So the Mets took advantage of the underbelly of their starting rotation. Now you got some tough pitchers that you're going to have to face the rest of this series. Michael, just get me at least a game lead going into Tuesday. I think I'd be happy.
See, now, I want them to keep the 2. I want them to. Yeah, I want them to keep the 2-game lead, Don, because if it's just 1, then Atlanta just has to take 2 out of 3.
Yeah, but you got to be realistic, okay? Listen, I want them to win every game, and I think they can. But you've got 3 games against Philadelphia, maybe the best team in Major League Baseball, and the Braves are in Miami. I mean, the Marlins have folded up. I mean, they got 97 losses. You're not going to get any help from Miami, you would think. So, yeah, it would be great. So if you take 2 of the next 3, Michael, you still might only be a game. Do you think it's realistic that the Mets can have a 2-game lead going into Tuesday? They got a 2-game lead now.
The way they're playing, yes. The way they're playing, I think it's realistic.
Well, then they would have to win these 3 because I don't think the Marlins are beating the Braves. And if the Braves lose a game,
didn't the White Sox beat the Mets? Didn't the White Sox beat the Yankees? Things happen.
The Mets swept the White Sox, actually. But
they beat the Yankees bad, yeah.
But still, I'm with you. And anything can happen, Michael. Rob, I'm just saying, realistically, I think the Braves are going to sweep the Marlins. And in best case scenario, the Mets take 2 out of 3. You can't. To sweep a 4-game series against Philadelphia, Michael, then I think that would be just absolutely incredible if they're able to do that. But realistically, taking 2 out of 3 would be great. And then you hope the Marlins can steal 1, and that would be your scenario. You go in with 2. But if the Mets can take 2 out of 3, even if the Marlins get swept by the Braves, you still have a 1-game lead going into that 3-game series, and then you can you control your own destiny from there.
Now, Mendoza was asked, what if Lindor says he's good to go? Do you put him in?
I think if we were in May, maybe we'll give him an extra day. He's a couple of days of him running the bases and going through. But the thing with him is he knows himself better than anybody. And when he can't go, he's going to let us know. And if he feels like he's good enough to help the team and not put himself in a position where he's in danger of risking or injuring something else, he's not going to go and play. So we trust him. And if he says, I'm good to go whenever, he'll be in the lineup playing shortstop and leading off.
So is it plausible then to think that if he progresses to baseball activities on one given day, that he might be a player for you the very next day?
100%.
Howie.
There you go.
Thank you, Howie.
Getting in there doing all the work.
In case you need to know, the Mets have the Phillies, then they got the Braves, and then they close out in Milwaukee. Now, Milwaukee still may have something to play for, Michael. Even if they wrap up the Central Division, they still could be in play to want to win games. Milwaukee right now has 88 wins, so depending on how things break, they still might mathematically still be alive to avoid having to play the wild card and being able to play to get a bye. We'll see. If not, Michael, then I think those could be easy games for the Mets if the Brewers have everything wrapped up and they're locked in. Atlanta has the 3 against the Marlins, then the Mets. They close out at home against Kansas City. So
And Kansas City might need those.
Michael, Kansas City's going to need it for sure. So that's how that's going to break down. So there's 9 games left, and the way the Mets are playing right now, it's anything's possible.